Winter soldiers of democracy are the ones who march and protest, go to meetings, endless meetings, call their members of Congress, sign petitions, register voters, and participate in election campaigns. But winters are cold. Being a winter soldier is hard. After 3 years of resistance, many of us feel beaten down and overwhelmed by the Trump Republican attack against our democracy. We feel alone. Sociologists tell us that successful social movements rarely involve more than 5% of the affected population in active participation. Fewer than 7% of the American colonists actively took part in the revolution against the British. In 70 years of struggle, the largest women's suffrage protest was only 8,000 marchers in Washington in 1913. Selma, Alabama was the largest civil rights movement campaign of the 1960s, yet less than 10% of the black population took part. So the number of winter soldiers is always small. Yet as Margaret Mead noted, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Being a winter soldier for democracy is hard. The men and women who fought for it in 1776 did not know they would eventually win, nor did those who battled against slavery in the 1800s, nor did those who fought for women's suffrage, labor unions, and civil rights. They did not know that they would eventually win. There was no promise or guarantee, but they persevered as we must persevere. Towards the end of the Civil War, Lincoln warned, corporations have been enthroned and an era of corruption in high places will follow. And the money power of the country will endeavor to prolong its reign by working upon the prejudices of the people until all wealth is aggregated in a few hands and the republic is destroyed. Now we face a similar challenge. Today's assault on democracy did not begin with Trump. Regardless of whether he is impeached, it will continue on through the elections of 2020 and then into 2021, because the forces of greed, corruption, and power who seek to turn our democracy into an oligarchy or an autocracy will not be easily overcome. We, the winter soldiers of the 21st century, must take our lesson from Frederick Douglass, who taught, power concedes nothing without a struggle. It never did, and it never will. So never doubt that we've won these battles before, and we can win them again if we continue to resist.
Resist! 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 Donald, 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 you scumbag, you really gotta
KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist.
Impeach and remove!
Here's why we are here today. These are dark days, and we have come to be prepared to stand against tyranny. Heed these words of the scholar Norm Ornstein of the Conservative American Enterprise Institute. Trump will do anything to stay in power. That's right. Suspension of the election, negation of the results, declaration of martial law are not simply fanciful, alarmist, or crazy things to throw out there or to contemplate. Members of Congress, governors, and state legislators, leaders in civil society, lawyers, law enforcement, figures, and the military need to be thinking now about how they might respond.
Lock him up! 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 That's right! Lock him up! 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 No KKK, no fascist USA!
No Trump!
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 You're fired! McDonald, 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 you're fired!
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California Let us take a quiet moment to say a prayer for our country.
Yes.
3 years ago this week, as a Hamilton elector, I went to Sacramento as a member of the Electoral College and made what became a unanimous vote out of the California electors to investigate the Trump-Russia connection in this election. The support of people like Indivisible and so many of you individually, people all over the country were saying, our elections belong to us. Our votes belong to us. And we have to be really clear that there is a danger in our elections right now. There is ongoing threat to our elections right now. So many of you have been walking the walk. In 2018, you helped win the House. Remember what the speaker said, a tsunami, but little drops of water. 200 votes, 500 votes, 2,000 votes. And you know what happened today? The members of that blue wave that you helped usher in some of the toughest districts in this country have come out and said they're going to vote their conscience, vote the Constitution, and vote for the articles of impeachment. You give them that strength. You give them that strength because you're here in San Francisco, but all over the country. People are out having vigils, having marches, standing up for the people who are making a very, very tough decision. It could be, they're told, well, this could be the vote that ends your career. And you know, person after person, member after member is saying, you know what, the Constitution is worth it. So let's make sure, as the sign says, as we've been saying for 3 years, we are indivisible. We are not going to let him divide us. And let me just remind you, what happened the morning that Paul Manafort's home was raided? The trans-military ban tweet. When he is hurt, he lashes out at our most vulnerable. And so what we need to do, San Francisco, is make sure that tomorrow when Donald Trump is impeached, that we hold on to each other, we hold on to our most vulnerable, and we protect our democracy, and we protect each other from him. Are we willing to do that? Yeah! Thank you all for your service. Thank you for your belief in our democracy. Let's keep fighting together and protect our elections in 2020.